This is Nancy Mace. She's a Republican congresswoman in South Carolina. She says that her house was vandalized overnight. Well, this was a couple of nights ago by Antifa. And she uploaded a video. Now, this is kind of interesting because we hear about these cases all the time. Someone on social media saying, oh, look at this hateful graffiti someone has left on my property. And most of the time, it's someone on the left making this claim. And what happens, LeBron James being one of them, although the interesting thing there is he never did a video. He never actually showed us. We never even saw the graffiti. And then he called someone at his property called the cops. And by the time the cops had showed up, someone had already painted over the graffiti. Oh, okay. Because that's what you would do. But whether there's video or not, whenever someone on the left claims that they're victim of some kind of hate crime, there was graffiti or there was a racist note or a hateful note left for them at their front door or on their car windshield or whatever, everyone on the left immediately believes it, unquestioning. Yet, for some reason, people on the left were a little bit skeptical of this. Let's watch the video. Here it is.
Woke up this morning to my house being vandalized last night. You can see they spray painted in black past the PRO Act on the front of my house. That's my bike that one of the kids was using last night, shortly before the house got vandalized. It's very scary. They also spray painted "No Gods, No Masters, All Politicians are Bastards" with Antifa markings on it, and you can see right in front of my house, on the sidewalks and the street. Out here you can see where they spray painted "you, Nancy," and then they've got Antifa symbols down with some of the other. What pisses me off is makes me so angry is that this is a house that I live in with my kids, my two kids. And one of them was on the bike last night coming in from the movies, and my kids aren't even safe on the front porch of their own home. And it's wrong. We can disagree politically, but vandalizing somebody else's property is wrong and is illegal. So we are doing everything we can, and I thank our police, local police who were here this morning, alerting me to what was going on, and want to thank them for their diligence in figuring out who did this.
Okay, so there it is. Now, as I said, you could go on Twitter and go to her Twitter account, Nancy Mace's Twitter account, and you can see where she originally posted these videos. And then you could look at the comments underneath. And it's like 90% from people on the left, including verified account, more accounts, more prominent people, outright accusing her of doing this herself and saying this is a hoax. And we know, of course, that if she was on the left, they would immediately accept it right away, because they always do. They from Bubba Wallace to Jussie Smollett to LeBron James, and then all of the lesser known people who've done their own hoaxes. On the left, they accept all of that right away. So all you have to do is give her different politics and also preferably a different skin color, and they would accept that right away. No question, no skepticism. And in fact, they would say, if you are skeptical of it, then you're racist or you're sexist and you should believe women. And this is what happens anytime a woman is victimized and she tries to talk about it. She's always doubted by privileged men. And so that would be the line, right? But here, in this one case, all of a sudden they've discovered skepticism. So we knew that was going to happen. Now, looking at the case, though, objectively, I will say, now I have no idea whether this is legitimate or not. I don't know anything about Nancy Mace. I'm not making any accusations. I don't know. I will say, first of all, that in all cases like this, where someone is reporting that there's been graffiti or a note left or something like that, there should always be skepticism until proof is offered. And that's a good general policy with all things, to have skepticism until some sort of evidence or until you're given a real reason to believe it. Well, there's no reason to believe it, by definition. Also, it is, I will say, and I did notice when I was watching the video, it's a curious that all of the graffiti is on concrete surfaces. She has painted white surfaces right there, and the vandals apparently decided only to vandalize the concrete surfaces where the stuff can be more easily washed off, and it's not a big deal, right, in terms of damages. And you would just think if you're a vandal and you're doing this and there's nice painted white surfaces and you hate this person and you're trying to vandalize their home, you'd think you'd probably spray paint on those surfaces. I don't know. So the fact that they only chose the concrete surfaces is a little strange. But on the other hand, what gives it credibility is that, number one, she called the police right away. And many times you find in these hoaxes, the people who are supposedly victims are strangely reluctant to get the police involved. So she called the police right away. Also, there have to be security cameras all over that neighborhood. You know, this is a wealthy neighborhood. There has to be security cameras presumably on her house, and if not on her house, then all over the neighborhood. Be very easy to check. You would assume she knows that. And also, she's a politician. It's kind of hard to imagine a politician doing this as a hoax. Quite a political risk. It's also dishonest, and we know that's not going to stop any politician from doing it. And then I'll say this too. This hoaxes of this kind, it's almost always people on the left doing it. So yes, the fact that she's on the right does grant her a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt. Because this is not common behavior on the right. On the left, this is just what they do. It's a common tactic. So we'll see. Police are involved. They'll look at the security camera footage, and I think we'll know the truth pretty quickly. The other thing is, you know, when it's someone on the left and they perpetrate a hoax, and the cops discover that it's a hoax, a lot of times they don't really tell us that. There was the case of Althea Bernstein, and I think that was in Milwaukee, I believe. And she was the one who was said she was a stoplight, and some racist white guys came up and set her on fire. And there, of course, there are security cameras all over the place, red light cameras, everything. She said it happened in the middle of a city. And the cops would have figured out almost right away that it was a hoax, but they didn't really tell us that. Or it took them a while to, and even then they didn't say it was a hoax. They just said, oh, we never found any evidence of this. In this case, if it's a hoax, I think that there will be no hesitation to let us know. So we will see. Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Matt Walsh Show. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down there so you can stay up to date on all of our future content.